Hi everybody, we're so excited to be here for lunch with the top producer. This is the 10th episode. My name is Monica Rivera. I am the team leader for Keller Williams Realty, Southeast Los Angeles, as well as an influencer for the Greater Downey Association of Realtors. And I am so excited to be here with my co-host.
Ruben Sariñana with Century 21, A Better Service, Vice President of the Greater Downey Association. And we are with
Nahid Benyamein, COA Banker All-Stars, Norwalk. And honestly, I am just beyond blessed and grateful for you guys to invite me. This is just really, really, truly a blessing. Thank you.
We're so excited to get started, so let's head on into Caña by Tropicana Cafe.
Awesome.
Hello everyone, we're here in Caña by Tropicana in the beautiful city of Downey, right on the corner of Firestone and Old River School Road. And we're excited, Nahid, for having you. Thank you so much for being with us. I know there's a lot of knowledge that you're going to be, gold nuggets that you're going to give us. And so we're excited to try to extract some of those out here, and we could benefit all our members that we have in the Greater Downey Association. So, yes.
Well, let's get started. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and what made you passionate about getting into the business of real estate?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys hang on to your seat. This is 30 years ago. And honestly, it's a funny story because I came to United States 37 years ago.
Okay.
And 37 years ago, there was a show called Rich and Famous.
Yes.
It was Ed McMahon.
I remember that.
Beautiful voice. He always featured beautiful homes. Believe it or not, I didn't speak English, okay, very little, and I had $500 to my name, and I used to sit there and watch that, and I say, one of those days, and thank God, that day came.
Really?
And honestly, I was a waitress in a restaurant, doing part-time job, because I always had two jobs.
Okay.
And a broker approached me. And he doesn't know me from Adam. He was just a customer. And he said, hey, what do you think,
Get
you'd
into
be
the
good in
business.
real estate? And I went home. I told my husband, we're Egyptian. And he goes, why would a man pay for your schooling? And I'm like, I don't know. So he said, that's not going to happen. I said, okay, no problem. Cerritos College was around the corner from where
The restaurant
we
was.
lived.
Oh, where you
Exactly.
lived? Okay.
So I went to Cerritos College and I said, what's about real estate? What is that all about? And sure enough, they had a class and they had like a preparation class.
Right.
Went through that and Jimmy LaPeter came to recruit.
I remember
Remember
Jimmy.
Jimmy LaPeter?
Yes.
He came to recruit.
Wow, that's an old.
And 2 weeks before my license, I went to his office.
Okay.
As I'm gonna train, okay?
I see.
It was the holiday, September holiday,
Labor Day.
Labor Day.
Yes.
And I passed my test.
Oh, I love it.
Wow.
I love it.
2 weeks later, I sold my first house.
After you got
Wow.
in. So 2 weeks into the business, 2 weeks, not knowing anything about real estate.
Well, you're gonna laugh about that, Ruben. I was on floor time. It was the weekend. I was on floor time. I got a floor. I got a
phone
sign
call
call.
in.
The guy was in front of the house. He's still until now my client.
Yes.
Wow.
I told him I don't know nothing. And he said that was the house. I said, okay, let me show you the house. I went showed him the house. I didn't know how to write a contract, but there was all the contract and files. So grabbed an old contract,
Figured it out.
figured it out. Back then it was
Different.
it 4 pages or
4 pages,
Yeah, it was
yes.
4
Not the
pages.
same
The
contract
purchase
anymore.
contract was 4 pages.
It was. You guys, we live in
Dinosaur.
an awesome time. Back then, it was, the MLS was books.
Books.
It was
right.
a book this yay,
Yeah.
and it had little tiny picture.
Yes.
We didn't have no computer. We had a fax machine with roll paper, and that paper it will fade.
How about this?
That way-
You ever heard of the fish?
Oh, no,
Okay,
wait.
you guys,
I think you're going to have to fill
you
in
guys.
everybody on the
Ruben
fish.
Yes,
and
I'm
me
from that
go whole days. Monica, she's too young.
Yeah,
she's
she-
way too young. She
I'm like,
wasn't
I'm
even
not,
born
I'm not the
at
only
that
one
time.
wondering about the
So,
fish.
yeah.
Well, the fish was a blueprint where you could actually see, it's like a scanner in a way. You put it into a light, and it would project into a projector, and you get to see the addresses and information on the properties. Back then,
that
this
was-
that was back 29 years, 30 years ago.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So that was the era me and Ruben came from. So
And back then, there was no such thing as a fax machine.
no.
No fax machine.
No.
We
no.
presented our offers.
Yes. And we used to
wow.
have it with us. Oh, that was a fun time. You go and you have 4, say you're the listing agent, which I was not. I always been on the buyer's
Buyer
side,
side.
okay? So the listing agent is like the king or the queen, okay?
Yes.
And they
right.
would go in, they open their briefcase, and they walk you in one by one. There's multiple offers, so there is, So one of the trick I learned back in the days, when you go, you have your buyer with you, okay?
I love
and
it.
they sit in the car
love
and
it.
wait. So you present the offer, they say, oh no, we want more money, whatever. You walk outside.
Counter offer.
Done.
Because-
Here it is.
That's the way you
Because
have
back then it was first come, first service. It was
Definitely.
time of the essence.
Absolutely.
It became the Wild Wild West. Everybody that got a counter offer would get into the cars and woo, try to get their clients to sign it and come back.
no, but you had the
But she
clients
had the
with
client.
you.
That was already a nugget.
That's it, the
That
advantage.
was a trick back then, you
You
guys.
see, that goes to show you the best was yet to come because she's
love
already
it.
thinking ahead.
I love it.
I'm going to accelerate this process. Wow.
Yep.
That is
was
so awesome.
Back in the good old days.
So when some people would be complaining about getting a counter offer, she's out in the front getting her counter offer signed.
Getting it signed,
Imagine
getting it
that.
ready to go.
Yeah. So
Wow.
it was really, really. It was just a good old days, and then you had the chance. You ask, of course, the listing agent for permission. Hey, do you mind if the seller can meet my buyer? They're sitting out there in the car, and believe it or not, honestly, until now, you guys, the way I do it is, it's a crazy thing, but listen to that. So because I come out of working with buyer, as all of you guys know. So when the seller lives in the house, okay?
Here comes a nugget.
Here we go.
Pay attention.
So, and they are at home when you are showing the house, and your client loves the home.
Okay.
So what you do is you're gonna show them, say, 3, 4 houses.
Correct.
Let's say they loved one, okay?
Right.
You say, why don't we go back and see the house one more time? So when you go back and see the house one more time, then you kind of relax, introduce the buyer and the seller. They do what's best. They love each other. We're just in the middle.
We're in the way
they
sometimes.
know each
They
other's
build a
name.
relationship.
And then when you're walking away, well, remember, that is my client. That's Mr. and Mrs. Martinez. We're going to make an offer. So just watch out. We're going to be sending an offer, Mr. and Mrs. Martinez. You remember that, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. And you move on. And that's how the offer
We'll
gets
get
accepted.
You get them on that heart-to-heart conversation.
Of course. And the kids, I always tell my client, when they have kids, bring the kids along. You
Yes.
want the kids.
Yes.
Because that's your ticket. The kids. So that's
Wow.
one for all of you new agent out
That's a
there
key.
want to work with buyers. Yes.
Wow.
That's a key
So
right
when
there.
you began and you worked with buyers,
Yes.
what percentage of your business in the beginning was primarily buyers? Would you say all of it?
It
Or is
was 100% buyers.
Buyers.
Back in the
Wow.
days, we used to have Pennysaver Ads.
That's
So
right.
the Pennysaver Ads was this yay.
Yes.
But back in the day, it was like $80 a week. Okay.
A week.
A week. And the trick back then is the way the Pennysaver put their ad is alphabetic. Okay.
Okay.
So Bellflower start with a B. The city of Bellflower. Downey start with a D. La Mirada start with an L. So, and of course, everybody loves 4-bedroom, 2-bath, whatever,
Yes.
whatever, okay? And they love Downey. Downey always been one of those city all the buyer loved.
Right.
So you put Downey, and then you put, your
Ad?
your ad, and you get, oh my Lord, tons of phone calls. I was really bad. From the voice of the message, I would know if they're good buyer or not. I'm sure I lost a lot, but I had a lot.
But you
So
had
the
your
one
ideal
they sounded
clients.
really good, those is the one I returned the call, make an appointment, boom, boom, boom.
'Cause
The
they sounded
one-
excited.
They sounded really excited. The one's
Yeah.
like, okay, you're on the bottom of the list, But honestly, that's how I made so much transaction.
Have you ever fired a client?
Okay, so let me tell you, I was fired when the riot
Oh, wow.
Really?
in Compton.
Wow.
I was fired at that time. And she was a school teacher. She never met me. But she fired me because I was Egyptian.
Just because of that.
Wow.
I was like,
oh my
okay.
gosh.
Okay,
Oh, well.
see
Oh,
ya.
sounded like not the
See ya.
ideal, not the
See ya.
ideal
Not
client.
the ideal one.
No, not at all.
But honestly, firing a client, I just never. Let's put it that way.
Because you picked the
When-
good ones.
Exactly. when there is no chemistry,
You felt the
you're
energy.
Good, I'm good. You're on your
Yeah.
side of the table. I'm on my side of the table, and
That was it.
Good.
see ya.
Now, I remember when you started in the Century 21 system when you began.
Right.
Right.
Jimmy Lapita was Americana.
Right.
And then he joined the Century 21, and I stayed with the Century 21 system.
Okay. Because
Yes.
I remember
Yes.
back in those days, you were what we called in the system Centurion Agent for many years, double Centurion Agent,
Yep.
and Grand Centurion Agent back
Yep.
in those days.
Yep.
Just so you know what that means, back in those days, a minimum of $150,000 in gross closed commission. It got elevated to $250,000.
300.
300,000.
300.
And then it went to
450.
450. And you're talking back 20 years ago, 25 years ago. To do that kind of money is equivalent to something of $1 million producer today.
Oh,
That's what I
absolutely.
think. Because the prices were 150,000,
Exactly.
80,000,
95.
95,000. And to be able to get commissions at 3% at 100,000, $3,000 to make 400, how many transactions would you average?
Well, honestly, back then, I had a couple of months, and I had 21 transactions each month. And back in the days, you guys,
21
I didn't have an
transactions.
assistant. We didn't
Oh, I
have
love
such
it.
a thing as assistant and a TC and all of that.
Or a team or anything like
Steve,
that?
what are you talking about? You're it.
I'm the team.
You're it. So I never forget when Jimmy joined the Century 21, they had sales rally every 3 months.
Yes, Carson.
Carson. So we went to the sales rally, and I remember back then it was Debbie DeGroat and Carol Rayborn. Those were that top of the top. Amazing women, amazing top producing. And they
Yes.
were on the stage. And it was like 400,000. And I'm like, I told Jimmy, I was in the business like a couple of months. I said, Jimmy, is that possible? He goes, yes. And I said, where do we start? And he goes, 150, Nahid. Sure enough, following year. And I didn't think I thought it was my memory fail me. And the other day, my assistant goes, Nahid, really you did? I said, you know what? Let me see if my memory failed me. They used to give us that trophy, like
Centurion Award.
The Centurion
Yeah.
Award. And sure enough, my first one, it was 1990, and I started in
I love
89. So I was like, yes!
I love it.
Oh my God, a year later.
I have the label. I still have
Wow.
that Centurion. Yeah.
That is so
I love
awesome.
it. So let me ask you this. You said when you started off, no team.
No team.
Right?
No team.
Now we're 30 years later. Do you have a team, and what does your team look like?
Yes.
Okay, so let me tell you. So now I have Ness is my assistant, my TC, my niece. I have Lupi, which she does the front desk, so half for the office, half for me. And I just got the best of the best. My son, he's an attorney, and he just joined the team less than a month ago. And it's just awesome. It's just so, I can just see the vision. I always, but I was not about to really impose on any of my kids, even though I love the real estate.
Right.
But I wanted them to
Come from
be
them.
who they are. So my older daughter, Crystal, is a dentist.
Oh, wow.
And Chris went to law school. And I always wanted to can one of them, you know? And hey, God is good.
My dad was
So-
the opposite. He would tell me, get your license, get your license.
Since the
and
beginning.
I was like, no. And finally, he's actually the one who enrolled me in school.
But
And
without even telling.
He said, look, I enrolled you in the classes, go get the license.
Wow.
And then, so
That's
a
awesome.
little different. He let me do my own
Yeah.
path as well, but
Yeah.
no, it's nice to have family that's in
Yes.
the business.
Yes.
And I know that's something that's in common for all of us as well, to just have family in the business as well as a nice, definitely nice to be growing that team that way.
Yes. And I really, really honestly, I just cannot wait to see what's going on. And what will be, because so far in that last 30 days, it's been just crazy. Crazy because the energy, crazy about, I'm not a listing agent, you know?
Yes.
Not yet.
I like that. Yes.
And until he came on board, you know, I always had my past client is my listing and referrals, my listing and all of that.
Sure.
But he's coming in with a new energy and is like expired and all of that. And I'm like, oh, whoa. And he's like, role play. And I'm like, what happened to my good old whatever? You know? And he's like, Mom, it's good, but it can be better. You know, how about this and how about that? So it's just a beautiful
A lot of
era.
growth.
Yes.
A lot of
yes,
growth.
Yes.
That's
yes.
awesome.
A lot of excitement. Yes.
love
I
it.
can't wait. I can't wait.
So, can you walk us to like your day when you walk in? Is it always similar? Is it the same?
Okay.
Or do you, because you know everybody does it differently. You have some that are very rigid.
Yes.
You know, they wake up at 5 in the morning and they do their thing, and you know, and then by 5 o'clock at night they're.
I think the most intense I've heard was in 15-minute increments.
No way. You have some people that are like that.
Actually, one of my agents who just had closed a deal with you, Milton.
Oh,
Milton Lopez.
yes. Well, Milton is an awesome guy. You know what he did?
Okay.
We closed the deal together. He's a young guy, he's new and all of that. And of course, he doesn't want to carry his new on his shoulder. But you can tell, you know, because I've been in it so long and he's like my kid. So what would Milton do? Milton go to that pastry place.
I love this.
What's the pastry place?
He went to Porto's.
Porto's. And what would he do? Bring a box of Porto's. And I'm like, Milton? And he goes, well, I thought it's just something sweet. And I'm like, okay. Of course, the offer was awesome and we put it together. I gave it to my client and I said, look, I didn't buy any of this. Milton did. And they go, really, Naya? I said, it's all yours. It's all yours. Have at it. And
there you go.
what I loved about him is the fact he's so hungry and he's so persistent. And that's the one thing I really, really want to say, you guys. The new era of the techs and the new savvy and all of that is beautiful, but it's still the human touch you cannot replace. So
100%.
what I'm trying to say is, you can send an offer, and when you send an offer without calling to say, hey, I just send you an offer. This is my client. Exactly. You know, I love you from a distance. My client love your client and all of that. Then your offer is one of many emails.
That's right. That's right.
So if you really, really want your client to get the house, you gotta do that little bit extra. Hey, what can I do? I'm about to write up an offer. How high do you want me to?
Like having the clients in the car outside.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's that piece going above and beyond, because it's also the relationship that you build with the other agent, right? They have to know that the deal is gonna close, and if you don't even call when you submit an offer, it's just an email.
Just like another offer.
The agent's not going to
You gotta
trust
show
that
that
you
you
can
care.
close the deal. Absolutely.
That you want the business, that you're excited about it.
And that you're taking action consistently.
Absolutely.
Yes. And the other thing I loved about Milton, which is another nugget for all of you guys out there, especially when you are buyer's agent, because I come from being a buyer's agent. When something go wrong, don't hide. Don't dare you hide.
Yes.
Don't bury your head in the sand. No, I'm a listing agent. I want to be on your side. I want to put that deal together.
Work together.
Close it.
Work together to get it closed.
Exactly.
Transparency and come from a solution base.
Yes.
Just say and don't go around the bushes. You know, hey, we had a fallout. We had this. The buyer lost his job. Whatever. You know, the appraisal came low. The repairs. Whatever. Just let's talk.
Yes.
You know, and don't come from the fact is they deserve it or the seller should. What make you think they should do anything?
Or you against me.
Or you
Yes.
against me. Cut
Oh,
out.
no.
Where they put on their gloves.
It's the worst.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
the worst. It has to be a team base and coming from that solution.
Yes.
So I know we didn't
So I
get to
guess
the
what she's
schedule.
saying, but what you're actually saying, but going back to the schedule, but communication.
Oh,
So it's
absolutely.
communication.
Huge.
And how many times have we heard that with the top producers?
Yes.
Is that's important. Communicating,
It's
communicating.
taking that extra step and being open and communicating
Yes.
throughout. Absolutely.
Yes. So back to schedule.
Yes.
Okay.
Schedule.
So when you get old like me, you don't require a whole lot of sleep. Okay. So I am up. I used to be up at 3:45. Now I'm a little bit sleeping in, so I'm up at 4:15.
Oh my gosh.
4:15, I do my prayers.
15.
And we leave the house about 10 to 5 to go to the gym. We're at the gym at 5 or 5:05. And that young man, my son, make me work for an hour and a half. So we do cardio, weights, and all of that. Well, we're climbing Mount Kilimanjaro in January, so I'm so
Oh, I
excited.
love it.
Oh, my
I love it. Keep an eye for
goodness.
pictures because I know
Yes.
there's one thing that you do very, very well is there's always a lot going on your
Yes.
social media.
Yes.
So
Yes.
looking forward for pictures of the climb.
Yeah.
I try. And so we're there until about 6:30, 6:35. We come home. We leave the house about 10 to 8. We get to the office by 8:30, 8:45. And honestly, my goal is to get my top producer, or my client and my top producer. I'm really, really bad on following up. I'm trying to get better at it.
So right
But,
now the main thing is the CRM.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's one of the things. If I can tell you guys, the mistake I made 30 years ago is not. I had the top producer for 30 years, but I didn't complete it to the fullest. I didn't
Right.
use it to the fullest. Now we are. But if you are, I don't care how long you've been in the business, get a CRM. Start
Yes.
working it.
Absolutely.
Start having the conversation with your
Sure.
client. Now, one of the things, and for the longest time, I felt if I haven't talked to them for 10 years, they're not gonna remember who I am. Well, guess what? They do remember who you are.
Really?
You know, my agent that hasn't called me in 10 years.
And they love to
And you
hear from
reconnect.
you.
Yeah.
It's the reconnection.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Yes. I had an idea to take pizza to my client, the
Oh,
one
I
I
love
haven't
it.
seen him.
I
Okay?
love it.
So what I didn't have no phone number, so I couldn't call him up to say I'm coming down
coming
with
over.
a pizza. So what I did, like the good old days when we preview, when we
Right,
used
right.
to preview. So what we did, went to the city and then put how many houses I'm gonna go, when, bought pizza, okay? And I
love
went,
it.
knocked on the door. And the beauty is, they remember what the heck I look
I
like.
love
I'm
it.
like, and keep in mind,
Special
you guys,
delivery.
keep in mind, 30 years ago, I was like 30 pounds heavier. I was this yay. Yay. Okay, so they remember, and it was so beautiful, and they invite you in, they show you the kitchen, the bathroom, what they
The
did.
changes they
and-
made.
And you re-cement that experience by a delivery. It's that personal touch. It's the same thing of one thing on what you said, for not just for the newbies that are out there, because I hear from agents that have been in the business for years as well, is 10 years. You can still reconnect with those past clients, with the people in your database, and they will still remember you. Just make it personal. Don't get scared. Because that, I think, is the number one thing that stops people is from reconnecting or from following
Absolutely.
up. Is it's been so long and they feel like they can't.
Yeah.
Right, and that's huge.
Or
that's huge.
sometime you remember, oh, I didn't do this, or they're mad at me at that. They don't even remember none of that. They give you hugs and kisses like they haven't seen you.
Actually, so happy to see you.
Exactly, and they're so happy to see you, and they thank you
Yes.
for all you've done for them. So that's really one of my goals.
Sure.
When I walk in, but 90% of the time, because of the amount of referrals I get so many phone calls. I'm
So
so
just
busy,
constantly following up.
Following up with your database.
up, just
Yes.
keeping up new people, whatever I have to do.
And delivering pizzas.
And I deliver pizza.
I love it.
Yeah, so it's just the day goes really fast.
Wow.
Really fast, just busy.
So after the gym, it's get to the office and follow up.
It's after the
And
gym,
follow up on the-
office,
on the
and follow
consultation.
up, and really appointment and showing
Definitely, showings and
and first-time buyer coming into the office and all
What,
of that.
what role does your team play in managing your schedule? Because I know, so one of the things that I noticed, if we've been going back and forth, is Nahida's not taking care of the little things like the emails anymore. Right?
No,
That's because she's over there building relationships. So I know that there's agents that they hit that level where now it's, okay, let's focus on the income producing activities, which is what you're doing, the follow-up, going on appointments, negotiation.
Right.
So what role does your team play in
Okay,
that?
so it took me quite a bit of time to recognize I can let go of that control. Yeah, well, you guys have to remember, I'm a mom, I'm a grandma, so control freak. Okay, so I wasn't willing to delegate, but finally, thank God, I got that confident, and she's my niece, and so what we did, we tried to have different emails. That did not work. Okay, so we only have one email. So anybody send an email, all of us look at it. So there is no one can say, well, I send it, you didn't get it, or
Right.
no. There is one email. So my assistant Ness, TC, she looks at the email and she schedule. We have one calendar. My calendar is shared with everybody, okay? So she schedule all of that. She handle all my TC on the files. Lupi, on the other hand, she handle when the client are asking for availability of homes. She does that for them. She sets up the appointment when I go show houses. She sets up the appointment and map it out and which one first and which one second and all of that. We do send birthday card. I love that. So
I love it. Yes.
We do send birthday cards.
That's awesome.
And Lupi takes care of that. We also added one little thing now on Facebook. We send a song on to wish them
really?
to wish them happy birthday.
I love that. I love that. Wait,
So-
are you singing the song?
No, Steve Wonder, is that his name?
Yeah, Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder.
And
Yes.
his song is beautiful, so we send. There is other ones, but I relate to Stevie Wonder, so she always send the Stevie Wonder because I like
Nice.
that. So, so just those little things.
Those multiples.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
when we talk about CRM,
Yes.
that's part of it, right? Is I think a lot of people get caught up in the, oh, let me just send just emails, right? But it's not. It's emails, it's calls, it's the personal touch, the birthday wishes, the birthday cards. Actually getting a handwritten
I'm sure
card.
you're also
that's
like
huge.
if you're in an area that you actually sold one. From time to time, you even stop if you have the time, right?
I did. And you're funny about that. I just got a listing in Paramount. We just put it in escrow. It's on Racine Street. And when I drove up, I'm like, man, looks so familiar. Looks so familiar. But I can't picture which house, which client, all of that. So I called the office and I said, go to top producer, look up Racine Street and tell me who lives on Racine. Sure enough, Vincent live on Racine. So I was like, you know what? I'm
me
going
go
up
say
there.
hi.
So I was about to come up to the driveway and he's walking out. And he's looking at me and he goes, no. I said, no, that's not the house I sold you. He redone, tile roof. It was a little tiny 2-bedroom. Now it's 3,000 square feet house. So there was no way I could have recognized what the house looked like. And it was so beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. It was so beautiful to see them. And their daughter now is 22. I sold them the house 20 years ago. She was only 2 years old. So it was just so beautiful.
I love it.
You know, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'd love to know, I know one of the things that I've seen you do very, very well, especially with all the changes that are happening, started the business 30 years ago, now with all the technology that's coming out, you're utilizing social media at a really high level. I see the jumping up and down in some of the pictures, and no, I love it. So can you share a little bit more on how you're utilizing it and what results is that having for your business?
Okay, so I do want to say thank you so much for saying I'm doing well. This is all new to me, so I appreciate it. We started social media on Valentine's Day.
This year.
Oh, wow.
This year. And the reason we started it because that's the new era, and I want to continue, and I just want to reach the younger generation and all of that. So one of the things I always dreamed of, if I can inspire people, and I was trying to figure out how can I do it. I do it with my buyer, I do it with my seller, I get involved, but how can I do it on a bigger scale? And I thought with Instagram, there is the inspiration story I put out every morning. And I thought that was gonna be the best. I can reach more people. And, they're not my client, they're just people out there. And the amazing thing is, there is nothing like that when you get someone to say, you made my day. Or you get someone to say, if I didn't listen to you today, I would have not known where I've been. Or I wait for my break time to listen to you. So I'm like,
my God.
yes. And this is people I don't know.
That is so awesome.
So that's really was the key. Now, when it comes to the business, if you ask me, Nahi, did you actually get a transaction from March until now? From it, I would say no. But now, did I got connection with, they are my client, but I didn't reach out to them and they reach out through the social media, I did.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So is it gonna result? For
Absolutely.
sure. But it makes it easier for you to connect.
Yes.
Just another way to touch.
Absolutely.
So
I love it.
so it's awesome. It is a little bit fearful in the beginning,
Sure.
and it's a little bit of a chore, and it's a little bit of work, but it's really worth it. But it's also double sword, because if you spend 6 to 8 hours on Facebook,
Yes. Come on.
then you're not going to be able to do the business. So
Right.
you really have to have that
Manage it.
balance and manage it and put a time slot
Absolutely.
to do what you need to do and move on with that.
No, I love
That's
it.
well done.
I love
That's
seeing
great.
that.
So we're now wrapping up. We've been talking for a while. You've been sharing it, and one of the things that I really gained from you is your passion, your enthusiasm, the love to the business. I mean, it's contagious, and I just want to let you know that. And I want to let the people know. I know that those that are watching, you have different levels of business. You have those that are beginning, those that are in the middle, and those that are at the top. Can you share just a little bit what you can give to each level? Like if you're barely starting, you might want to concentrate on this. If you've been doing this for a while, but you haven't seen the result, you might want to concentrate on this. And if you're at the top, this is something that I would suggest you consider.
Sure.
Let's share with our public and see what they...
Sure. Great question. So honestly, with that says, if you are a beginner, okay, then there is no other way except putting out the legwork. And what I mean by legwork is, 1, you got a door knock. 2, you got a prospect over the phone. 3, you're gonna go to everyone you know of and say, that is what I'm doing, that's my job now.
Sphere.
You gotta do the social media and say, that's what I do for living now, okay? Now, you're gonna do it and you expect in 48 hours is not going to happen, Now, one key item, because all of us have family, make sure your whole family knows what kind of work you're gonna put
right.
out, how many
Absolutely.
hours you're gonna put out, how many times you're gonna be in an event, and you're not really in the event, but your body is there, but you're on the side with your phone trying to put a deal together. How many times you're gonna come home frustrated and they're not gonna understand why are you frustrated? And when I say family, I'm talking about from your children, your significant other, your brother and sister, your mom and dad, your friends, because all of a sudden, here is that lovey-dovey person
Yes.
is not any longer lovey-dovey because the brain is fried between trying to get that ship going.
That's right.
Because
That's
it's
key.
gonna take time,
Absolutely.
Now, if you are in the middle of the road and you made so much money and now you're like on a stale just because the holiday is coming and you think the market is interest rates
Shifting.
is higher and shifting and all of that. Let me tell you, being 30 years in the business, I've seen it all. Seen the short sale, seen the foreclosure,
Absolutely.
seen the high, seen the low, higher interest rate. lower interest rate. Now, remember, there is always a buyer and a seller. It is only going to be up to you to go out there and find the buyer and the seller.
Find the market of the moment.
Exactly, okay? Third bracket of people, when you make so much money, then you become cocky. Don't dare you do that for one reason. All of us are human. I don't care how many billion of dollars you can have. When
Stay
we
humble.
bleed, same red blood.
Absolutely.
So treat your
Absolutely.
client as a human. Their credit is bad, help them. They're behind on payment, find out what you can do to help them. They need to understand, because this is their first time selling, you need to take the time.
Yes.
This is their first time buying, take the time, slow down. Take you out of the equation and concentrate
Take
on
the ego out
them.
and come from
Yes.
contribution. I love that.
So that's really
Nice.
just be you. They're not a dollar sign. They're human.
Yes.
Wow, that's great.
I love it. Thank you so much for being here with
Yes.
us today. One thing, tell everyone out there listening, where can they follow you on social media?
Yes.
Okay, so Nahid the Realtor on Instagram, Facebook, Nahid the Realtor, and you guys all know me. Now, before I go, if you have any question, regardless is small, big, please reach out. That's what we are here for, to encourage one another, to lift one another, to
That's right.
build one another. So please,
Wow.
please make sure you have my number. Just call me, email me, text message me, any question, regardless, family, personal, business, I don't care what it is. Call me and I'll answer it.
Wow, I just got the chills. That's great. Thank
No,
you so
always
much for
coming
your
from
spirit.
contribution.
Thank you so much for giving. You know, it's people like yourself that makes this world turn. And I just want to thank you so much for being here and giving us the opportunity to listen to your story and to listen to all the gold nuggets. So I hope you guys took a lot of notes, and we're so grateful that we are here today.
Definitely. And go ahead and like or comment below if you guys have questions. If they give us a like so we can see, share the video out.
Yes.
Thank you so much to all of you listening. Thank you to the Greater Downey Association of Realtors
Absolutely.
for having us. And we're so excited. So definitely thank you. Keep an eye out for the next Lunch with the Top Producer. And we want to thank Caña by Tropicana Cafe for providing a wonderful lunch today here in Downey. Definitely come and try it out.
Be here.